Most of us think that when we get something, we'll be happy. But true happiness is when you give. The very purpose of life is to share the goodness with everybody around. And that's what Sangachatam means. Let's walk together. See, you have heard this from Gurudev as well a couple of times. The source of misery is the duality in the mind. Yeah. So what is the meaning of it? Where did the duality arise from? And how does duality lead to misery? Have you ever thought about it? Yeah. I was recently reading a book written by one of the disciples of Adi Shankara called Sureshwaracharya. His original name is Mandana Mishra. You all know he's a greatest scholar of the time in the northern part of India. And he had a debate with Adi Shankara, which lasted for 21 days. And finally, he accepted the defeat. The main uh, issue of conflict, not conflict, the debate between them is, does action lead you to liberation? Adi Shankara said, no matter what you do, action will not take you to liberation. Action will bring you only heaven or hell. Swarga, Naraka through Punya and Papa. You may attain Dharma, Artha, Kama, but Moksha you can never attain through action. But he said, Karma Kanda says moksha can be attained through action and through ritualistic practices by appeasing the gods, we can attain it. So, this was the main debate, and finally, he realized that there is somewhere his argument is incomplete, and he accepted Adi Shankara's statement and he became his disciple. So, one of the books which he wrote, one of the most important books which he wrote, is called Naishkarmya Siddhi. Siddhi means perfection, Naishkarmya means non doing, attaining perfection in non-doing. Okay, see, non-doing is not doing. This is where the misrepresentation happened later on about Adi Shankara's teaching. Non-doing is doing without a sense of leadership, doership. When you do something without a sense of doership, when you engage with the world, engage in all the activities, but without a sense of doership. When does the sense of doership disappear? When the dehabhimana, when the identity with the body disappears. When does this happen? When the knowledge dawns in you. When does knowledge dawn in you? When you inquire about your true nature. Are you getting this? You have to pay attention here. You have to be really alert to get this whole flow of logic. So there are two things. One is the self, one is the mind. The self is fully contented, is joy, it is self luminous. It has no ambition, no desire, no purpose also. It just is. In its easiness, in its existence, everything else flourishes. Like in the presence of the sun, all life flourishes. In the absence of the sun, all the life diminishes. This is a natural reality. Yeah, it's obvious truth. Similarly, in the presence of this pure being or consciousness or the self, every other aspect will flourish, will get illuminated. But in its absence, nothing gets illuminated. So when you are experiencing these qualities of contentment, peace, absence of desires, centeredness, stillness, all these mean that you are reposing in the self. In some way, you are connected with your deepest core. On the other hand, look at what the mind does. Mind is never contented, it is restless, insecure, greedy, and most importantly, ignorant. Because it is incomplete and insecure, it Does not like, it wants to fill that up. See all around you, see, this is what we see in the world. People feel a sense of incompleteness in them, emptiness in them, and try to fill this with everything. Somebody tries to fill this with companies, with friendships, somebody with holidays, somebody with gossip, somebody with parties, somebody with alcohol, somebody with pleasures, somebody with loud music. Why you are not ready to embrace that emptiness? You just want to get rid of it, so you try to do something. This wanting to get rid of all these things which you don't like, which is imperfection, discontentment, sorrow, insecurity, fear, you want to do something to cover this. So this, the the source of all these qualities of the mind is ignorance itself. And because of the ignorance, these qualities show up, and then the mind tries to avoid, get rid of them, or do something towards them. That generates action. Action generates impressions. Impressions generate further actions. See, and this cycle continues. There is no end. This is almost self perpetuating. On one hand, there is the self which needs nothing. On the other hand, there is a mind which is not happy with anything. It is unhappy with what it has, it's unhappy what it doesn't have also. That's the quality of it. Do you see what I mean? So, how did this all originate in the first place? So, he gives a very beautiful explanation. He says the basic, the basic driver of action is ignorance. What is this basic ignorance? That I am separate. This is the quality in the mind. What is it? I am separate for everybody. Mind thrives on something called uniqueness. I am special. You look around the world, everybody wants to be special. You don't want to buy a clothes that somebody else has bought. You want something which nobody else. Your jewel, you want a jewelry which it should be very unique to you. You don't want to buy a car which everybody is buying. You want your house to be different to everybody else's. Do you see this such a race, or such a spending of energy among people to create something unique which is not common? Do you see? I want to be special. But the spirit does not, it knows it is special. It is the most special thing. And it is one. There is no comparison. Because mind thinks I'm separate from others, then it thinks that is different. This is different. And dwelling in this sense of separation is called ego. I am separate. So the ego and the mind feed each other. Both are hungry for survival. The ego supports the mind to survive, the mind acts to survive. Okay. So once you believe in this sense of separation, the biggest lie that you tell yourself is what you're separate from. It's not just I'm separate from this person, this thing, that thing. You think you are separate from God itself, from existence itself. I mean, God is living in you, God is breathing through you, God is talking through you, God is now listening through you, but somehow you don't get it. You think God is somewhere, I am somewhere. This is the biggest mistake the mind makes, that I am separate from God. When you separate yourself from God, then what it leads to is called shobhana ashobhana adhyasa. Means you think something is auspicious, something is not auspicious, something is inferior, something is superior. This is obvious. You think, oh, I am a poor little man, God is so great. I am useless, my guru is something great. Do you see? So, Shobhana, Shobhana, this is auspicious, that is not so auspicious. I am not so auspicious, that God is very auspicious. I am a sinner, God is the forgiver of all sins. And this will generate, it's called raga and dvesha, craving and aversion. I want this, but I don't want this. All the shobhana you want to have craving, all the auspicious things you want in your life, all the inauspicious things you want, your hours, you want to push them away. And this will then give rise to what's called as dharma and adharma. Holding on to right things is dharma, not supporting the right things is dharma. So this will then give rise to the concept of good and bad, right and wrong. Dharma, adharma is just the same thing, right and wrong, good and bad. And then engaging in good or bad will result in punya and papa, merit and demerit. Now, this whole thing needs a closure. Now, the rule of action in the world is once an action is triggered, until it gets a closure, it hangs on. Whoever has triggered that action, he has to give it a closure. It has to come back to him some way or the other. So, to enjoy the merit of the punya or to suffer the demerit of the papa, you need a platform. And that platform becomes the body and the mind. This is called as deha prapti. And once the deha is available, then you perpetuate this. You start identifying, first you identify with it. Oh, I am this body, I am this mind. Then this illusion of separation from God becomes even stronger. And then you engage in even more actions. And then this cycle continues. So deha prapti will then lead to repetitive cycles of birth and death, because you keep on repeating this, and this is the cause of samsara. And samsara is misery, because there is no contentment at all. At the level of the mind, by nature, mind is not contented. Mind is discontented. But the mind is not looking towards the self. The same mind, when it is educated, it stops looking at the world to fix itself, accepts its imperfections, and looks at its own source, which is the consciousness, which is being, which is perfection in itself, then the qualities of that dawns. This is exactly what happens when you look up to a guru or God. There are so many imperfections in you, but then you see that perfection in front of you. And then you say, wow, this perfection is what, somewhere you feel, this is what I want in my life. But just by connecting to that perfection, those qualities start appearing in you. This is at a gross, at a subtle level. When you connect to that presence, at whatever time you feel led astray by the mind and the ego, if you just take a step back and acknowledge your connection with the Guru or with the God or with the Self, all are the same. Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini. There is no difference between God, Guru, and your own self. You can call whatever you want. You can connect to whichever feels convenient to you. The moment you feel connection to that, its qualities start appearing in you. And at that time, what has happened? The ignorance has disappeared. So, the first step to overcoming this ignorance is inquiring, am I really this body and mind? And then you will go. There's a lot of support systems are given in the Upanishads to see how you are not. It's just a superimposition. You have superimposed your body and the mind on the self. So, whatever is not the self, which is the body and the mind, anatma, you've taken it as the atma. So, whatever is happening to the body and the mind, you are assuming it is happening to you. And so, you are miserable. This is the biggest cause of misery. Then, is there no benefit or any use for the karma? There is. What does karma do? It causes what's called antakarana shuddhi. All the practices we do, all the spiritual practices which are actions, they are mainly to do antakarana shuddhi. When the antakarana is shuddha, when the faculties become purified, purified of what? These conditioned impressions that I am separate, I am fearful, I am useless, when all these are slowly, slowly chipped away, then that the patrata will come in you, that qualification to reflect the self in its entirety, to be stationed in the being, to repose in the self comes into you. But that is not moksha. It only makes you qualified to receive moksha. Moksha only comes through realization of knowledge. So, two things are essential. One is inquiry into your true nature, which is vichara, the path of knowledge. And two, the path of action, where you engage in action, spiritual practices. All those Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama, they are all what they do. Antakarana Shuddhi. Purify your mind, purify your intellect, purify your memory, and negate the ego. When all this happens, it becomes easy for you to acknowledge the presence that you are. The same God which you have been seeking out is in you as a presence. Right now, you can access it, you can feel that. You are carrying the God in you, you are carrying the Guru in you. You just have to feel that it is there with you. In fact, I am the consciousness, and the body and mind is what I am experiencing. I am wearing like clothes. I'm wearing my clothes, but I'm not the clothes. I'm having this body and the mind which I'm utilizing, which I'm using as a platform to push through some of the prarabdha karma, but I am not that. Who am I? I am this pure being, pure consciousness. So that is why in the Vedas also, the Purva Paksha of the Vedas is the Karma Kanda and the Uttara Paksha is the Jnana Kanda, which means that is the natural progression. You go through rituals, you go through purifying actions, make yourself, your antakaranas clean and pure and sattvic, so that they are ready to receive the knowledge of the self. They can reflect the self in its entirety, and then suddenly it dawns on you one minute, ah, this is what it is. This is what it is. So when this gnana dawns in you, when the knowledge dawns in you, then what happens? The mumukshu becomes a jivan mukta. The seeker becomes the enlightened. But until then, it does not happen. So a seeker first strengthens the four pillars of knowledge, involves in spiritual practices and tapa, purifies his antakaranas, prepares himself, is ready to receive. When the knowledge received from the Guru, he grasps it because he's so like a clean pond, still pond, is able to reflect it as it is, does not get misrepresented, misinterpreted. And when that knowledge hits where it has to hit, suddenly the ignorance is gone. The snake is not seen, only the rope is seen. The rope which was superimposed on the snake is disappeared, only the rope is seen. Then he says, oh, this is what it is. So when a person gets enlightened, when the knowledge dawns in him, even though he engages in all the actions, karma doesn't touch him because dehabhimana is gone. He does not identify himself with the gross or the subtle or the causal body, especially the body mind complex, what you talk. He does not identify with it. And all actions are spontaneous and intuitive, not pre programmed. So they are the much higher quality coming directly through the guidance of the self. Do you get this? How the whole thing blends into each other? Huh? Hopefully, I've not confused you. So, to summarize, the cause of samsara is ignorance. Because of the ignorance in the mind generates separateness, and separateness gives to duality. Duality leads to right, wrong, good, bad, craving, aversions that will lead to actions which are good or not so good, which is to punya and papa. And to experience that, you need a body and mind. Okay, so this is samsara, this is bondage. How to become free from it? By inquiry into your own nature, and when that knowledge dawns in you, then you become free. And the source of knowledge are the Upanishads or the Vedas. Mainly these Upanishads or the four Mahavakyas. If you can attain to them, which shows that you are that only. The pure consciousness is you. Your all problems is because you are not identifying yourself with it, but you are identifying yourself with the body and the mind. And also strong realization that the action can never take you to liberation. Action can bring you prosperity or misery, but it will never take you to freedom. Karma will never give you moksha. Okay? Jai Guru.